Thanks very much.
It's very special to be here because this is actually my local Barnes & Noble. And a few weeks ago when a friend of mine told me she saw a poster for this event inside the store, it was very exciting. And so I came over here and I was going to take a picture and post it online. So I walked in. Well, actually, no, I went outside out front to see if the poster was in the window. And there wasn't. There was no poster in the window. So I was like, oh, what's going on? So I walked inside and still no poster inside. So I went up to the information desk. I was like, this is awkward, but I have a book coming out, and I was told there was a poster, and I just wanted to take a picture of it so I could post it online. She goes, well, she was very sweet, but she goes, I don't know. There's no other posters. I mean, there's one at the top of the escalator with Anderson Cooper and someone. I was like, that's me. I'm someone. Really special.
I like the fact that the green room, which is over there, which you could probably all see us just standing around awkwardly in the green room. It's actually the love and sex section, which is also, oddly enough, right next to the relationship section, which is also then right next to the addiction recovery section. I don't know what that means, but anyway, it's great to be here with Jack Ray. Jack and I have worked together for many, many years, and we've all known Jack as an incredibly talented producer and a very talented writer. He started doing blog posts for us years ago, and I didn't want to encourage it too much because it would take away from the work he was actually doing for me. But he was incredibly talented, and he's got this huge Twitter following. I don't know if any of you here follow him on Twitter, but he's got, I think, more Twitter followers than I have, and which I'm not sure how that's possible.
Mine are all in Kuala Lumpur. They're all spammers. They're huge in Malaysia. Community blood.
Right. But Jack's incredibly talented, and I'm so thrilled that his book has been so well received. It's gotten really great reviews, and I guess what we'll do is we'll just kind of talk a little bit and then open it up to some questions if folks have questions. So I was curious to know how you actually found the time to write, because you actually work for me and are supposed to be working on my behalf, and yet you seem to have been able to develop an entire side career.
See, I really consider working for you as more of an honorary gig. I realize that's more of no, I just wasn't working for you. I mean, I was in your office when you weren't there, but I wasn't working. I was doing other stuff.
That's right. I would find my desk very sticky and notice someone had been on my computer. So.
But what you're not telling me was that you really are kind of responsible or to blame for this book. I mean, however you want to look at it, because when you and I were at the Democratic Convention in 2008, we were stuck in a car somewhere together, and as I've said many times before, when you work with Anderson, eye contact is a privilege, not a right. And so he eventually threw me a bone in the car after like 20 minutes of silence. He's like, well, I like that blog you wrote. You should write more of those. I think he's just trying to get me out of the car.
Yeah, to be honest, I had no idea who you were.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really didn't. I thought your name was like Charlie or something. That's why I'm happy you wrote a book, because I finally found out what your last name is.
See, I was not aware that celebrities knew how to read. So I did not even know you'd be reading.
Right, yeah. You're fired. I mean, for those who have not read the book or not picked it up yet, and you really should, explain a little bit about sort of the genesis of the idea and how you see it.
Well, there's basically a mix. It's a book of essays. They're kind of called a memoir. I have no business writing a memoir. I'm 32. I spend most of my nights watching Golden Girls and Murder, She Wrote alone with my dog. So I'm not memoir material, but it's a book of essays. There's some personal stuff. There's some professional stuff. There's stuff about celebrities I know and my dog and depression and loneliness and being gay and all kinds of stuff in there. So there's kind of something for everybody.
Jesus, you're gay as well?
Oh yeah, and my dog's gay.
How did you determine that?
My dog is a big lesbian.
You actually had not sort of come out to your father until...
No, and I was like, shit, I boxed myself into a corner with this book. It's like after dark.
Your history on Twitter is, like, I don't think a lot of people realize you gave Cher a Twitter lesson. How did that go?
I did. It was insane. Well, Cher and I have a mutual friend. We do.
Kathy Griffin. Right.
So she called me one night. She's like,
for those who know, Jack, I worked with Kathy Griffin on New Year's Eve. Jack has produced that hellish evening for years now, and has been literally standing behind the camera with a sign saying no nudity, no cursing, all sorts of things. She made out.
Much luck.
She made out with you one year.
And that had been a long time since that happened. Yeah.
So how did you give Cher a Twitter lesson?
So Kathy calls me and she's like, I'm going over to Cher's house. She's a disaster and she needs help with her computer and her phone. She doesn't know how to tweet. I don't even know if Cher still tweets, but she had this insane Twitter feed. It was pretty special. It was crazy. But so my phone rings, and again, it's me in my sweatpants eating peanut butter cups in my apartment. And so Kathy's like, okay, hold on, I'm putting Cher on the phone. And you can do the voice better than I can. Noted Cher impersonator, Anderson Cooper. She's like, hello, and I'm like, hello, Cher. And she's like, I'm like, so Cher, what's going on? She's like, I'm like, are you trying to use this on your phone or your computer? She's like, well, I'm trying to use it on my phone, but I don't know if I have a password. Give that for a password. I don't know what my password is. Like, okay, Cher, so we need to like step back. And so it went on and on and on. And so finally, she was like, well, thank you. This has been very helpful. Would you mind if I call you from time to time? I was like, no, Cher, that's fine. Call me whenever you want. And then, so I hear Kathy in the background being like, tell him some old Sonny and Cher stories. He's really like into history and TV and all stuff. She goes, and I was like, no, Cher, I'm not going to bother. She goes, oh, Jack, it's okay. You can ask me anything you want. I was like, we're done. But it was amazing. And her Twitter is insane. So.
You also wrote a fair amount about Kathy Griffin.
Right.
How did you guys become friends?
Well, I blame you for that. Yeah. I mean, through you, we kind of hit it off one night. Well, actually, after the New Year's Eve show. Some years you hang out with us, and some years you drop us like a bad habit.
It's catch or sketch, man. Yeah, it's really...
So I think one of the off years I ended up with her, like the donut pub on 14th Street till 4 in the morning. But,
which she likes to do. She likes to have donuts.
She drags me there.
Yeah.
But we've hung out, I mean, you're not telling them about the weekend we spent at your house on Long Island, which was insane.
Kathy Griffin asked to go to my house on Long Island, and she and Jack went out the day before I was there, and she asked for a key, so I sent a key, which, by the way, if Kathy Griffin ever asks to stay at your house, say no, because I've learned my lesson. And anyway, so Jack and she ended up at my house, and it's not, I think she was expecting like Downton Abbey. My house is like, it's like 2 bedrooms. It was going to be torn down when I bought it. It's not a big fancy thing. It's perfectly nice, and I'm very happy.
I mean, really, do you want to open up this camera? Your house is very nice.
It's nice, but it's not Downton Abbey. There's no like.
Do you know he takes the subway too? Because he doesn't mention that in 5 minutes. Very regular guy.
Anyway. I think she expected like some sort of staff there to greet her.
Oh, there was no staff. It was me and her in the middle of the night.
Right.
And you're like, watch out for the deer that come up and like stab you with their antlers in the driveway. Like, oh.
Anyway, so I'm on the news that night, and I'm occasionally I tweet a lot during my program, and I keep getting these texts from Kathy Griffin, who's texting me naked photos of herself, literally naked photos, sprawled out on my couch, draped over the kitchen counter. I had to get a wet vac crew in there the next couple days. But anyway, that was...
I had to take those photos. You were traumatized.
You also write a fair amount, actually, again, bring it back to me, because really this evening is about me. You actually, I did not realize that you were going to write about me in the book.
Well, like I said, I was not sure you were literate, so I was kind of gambling on that. But you have a very good sense of humor, and the only things that I made fun of you about, are true. Like, the eye color. I mean, I think there's some tinted lenses going on with those blue eyes. But, no, you have a very good sense of humor, and everything in there is 100% accurate.
It's completely not true. Everything's made up about me. The wig, yeah. What's also funny about Jack is that a lot of times he will, if there's a segment he's producing on with some guests. I remember, in fact, Larry King. I did an interview with Larry King about Larry King's book, and I'm not sure how much Larry was aware of, what was in his book.
Easy.
No,
Easy.
I know.
Where are you going with this?
But so Jack had actually read the entire book and, had written out some questions for me that were much more funny and original than the questions I'd come up with in my own mind. And they were all like, on page 156, you say, and...
By the way, his book is insane.
Yeah.
It's him hitting on Katie Couric,
right.
and Jessica Hahn in the back of a cab. It's crazy stuff. But no, that's the stuff I'm good at. Give me the budget. I'm not that great, but like a Larry King memoir, and I can dive right into that. That's my kind of assignment.
What's it like to find yourself in this, position of suddenly being in front of the cameras and...
It's a little nerve-wracking, but I mean, it's fun. Everybody here is nice, right? Girl, go buy the book. It's exciting. I mean, look, I'm so used to being in your shadow that, there's really nothing that could ever happen. I mean, honestly, if you want to have like
which is the way I grew up.
right,
Just to be
if you want to have like
honest.
like a day of bad self-esteem, try going out in public with him. You could like have your hair on fire and no one would even notice. Like, oh, I understand. So, I mean, there's nothing. As long as I'm still in this world, there's nothing that's.
But it's interesting. I come across people in the field all the time, and I'll say I'm from CNN, and they're like, "Oh, I follow Jack Gray," and it's like Ted Danson or Mary Steenburgen.
I know both of them actually.
I know they follow you on Twitter, and they like are good friends with you now because of your Twitter relationship.
Oh Jesus! Sorry, are we bothering you?
No, it's fine. I won't take it. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's not.
It's Piers Morgan, and he's not happy.
The question was about depression. That Jack writes about depression in the book, and if he wrote another book, is that something he would go more in depth on?
Look, I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not Dr. Drew. He's not Dr. Drew, despite looking like Dr. Drew. But yeah, I think if you can laugh at it, I'd write more about that. Absolutely. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not hoping I'm more depressed. I mean, if you all chase him to the car and don't buy my book, I'll be depressed.
Oh, is this for Jack? No, that's fine.
I'm surprised the first two questions were, Anderson, why are you so perfect?
My mom is great, thank you. Yeah, and she actually knows Jack as well.
I love his mother. His mother's amazing. I've been out to dinner with her before at lunch, and I actually went to a party once at her apartment. And I was late, but only because I was buying her a box of Godiva chocolates. And so I got there, she's like, Jack, where have you been? And I was like, for you. But so everything was going swimmingly, and it was the most amazing party you could. I mean, obviously, it was just amazing. But
by the way, my mother does not invite me to parties.
Right, yeah.
Somehow Jack goes.
But so everything was going really well until I started eating these brightly colored candies that were in a dish on the side table, which would have been great had they not been glass-colored ornaments. So it's a lovely party, though. Oh, that's a good one. I like the one where
favorite Golden Girls episode.
I don't even have to think about this. Where Betty White, who I met, her boyfriend reveals he's in. Look who's talking. The boyfriend was in the witness protection program. It's a two-parter. Yeah, it's a little bit of suspense.
But at a party, you're not the dance on the speaker person. You're the one sort of standing observing.
No, but speaking of parties.
Yes.
So I've been to several of your parties, and there's nothing. No, don't worry. Calm down. But I'm not as. Where I'm going with this is that I'm not a dance on the speaker kind of guy, especially as I get older, because my limit for being overserved is quite low. But I went to one of your parties. I got home from one of your parties. I believe it was a Christmas party, and I woke up the next morning. I tried to put on my pillowcase as pajama pants, and my towel rack was broken. So you know how to go through a good party. Although you don't enjoy your parties, you just kind of walk around monitoring everybody.
Yeah, and I've said this to Jack. I mean, his book does sort of remind me of David Sedaris, also a little kind of Augustin Burroughs, and I mean, I think sort of in that vein, I think Jack has a very unique voice. But in terms of humor and also, I think there's real kind of pathos in it and sensitivity in it. It's not just kind of joke. It's there's something very poignant, I think, in it, which I think is really appealing, and certainly something which drew me to it initially.
I have to say, I mean, and I'm giving him loads of crap tonight, but there's no one who supported me more, or encouraged me more, or helped me more than Larry King. And no, he's the best. No, Anderson's really the best. He's got a very good sense of humor about himself, which is kind of rare.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope you get Jack as well.
Do you like it?
I love it, actually. Where are you from?
Thank you for coming. It was really nice to meet you. Thank you.
And I hope you write another.
Oh, me too. Thank you very much. No, he was really good.